Folks, Donald Trump is having a meltdown this morning. He's on a posting tear, trying to distract us from a very bad jobs report and a very bad consumer sentiment report as Donald Trump's first jobs report and consumer sentiment report to hit. Donald Trump is trying to have his right-wing propaganda going in full force, but it's not really working. Donald Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is out there trying to blame this all on former President Biden. That's not working. Let me break down everything that's happening for you. So Donald Trump immediately started making posts like this. Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post is so incompetent. So sad to see him trying to justify the waste, fraud, and corruption at U.S. aid with his pathetic radical left spin. He should be fired immediately. Oh, Donald, you want us to chase that shiny object? No, I'm just pointing it out to show we the people, your WMD, your weapon of mass distraction from what you're really trying to distract about. Then Donald Trump posts this. I will be signing an executive order next week ending ridiculous Biden push for paper straws, which didn't work. Back to plastic in caps. Back to plastic. Oh, Donald, it's plastic. Oh, my God. Maybe I shouldn't focus on the fact that you betrayed all Americans, including your voters. Prices are not going lower. Prices are going higher. More jobs aren't going to be created. I thought you said on day one it was all going to be a miracle. And there's not peace in Ukraine. Housing's not affordable because here's what we just learned. The first jobs report has been released under the Trump presidency, and he is losing jobs. With layoffs in federal government, we can now expect to see a spike in unemployment in coming months. The U.S. economy added only 143,000 new jobs in January, which was far fewer than what was expected. If you look at the last jobs report under President Biden, it exceeded expectations. 256,000 jobs added. And when you went back and looked at some revisions that had to be made under the Biden presidency, jobs were actually even higher than were previously reported. Again, compare that jobs report. Donald Trump said jobs, 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 and he was going to be a miracle and do all of these things, despite the fact that other than Herbert Hoover, I guess we can call Donald Trump Pervert Hoover, Donald Trump was the only president in American history to lose jobs during his first term, whereas President Biden created somewhere between 16.2 and 16.5 million jobs. Here's what Donald Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is putting out right now. Today's jobs report reveals the Biden economy was far worse than anyone thought and underscores the necessity of President Trump's pro-growth policies. During his first weeks in office, President Trump declared a national emergency to make America energy dominant again, pledged to cut 10 regulations for every new regulatory action, and outlined a plan to deliver the largest tax cut in history for hardworking Americans. President Trump is delivering on his promise to restore our broken economy, revive small business optimism, create jobs, and ignite a new golden age for America. Most economists were referring to it as a Goldilocks economy that was being handed over to Donald Trump, quite possibly the best economy in American history in terms of low unemployment, GDP growth. President Biden got inflation under control that was created by Donald Trump, adding $8 trillion of debt during his first term, and Donald Trump is already crashing our economy into the ground. Consumer inflation fears are spiking in February as tariff worries hit sentiment. Price hiking tariffs, tax breaks for billionaires, cuts to healthcare and education, job-killing halt of infrastructure projects, corrupt turnover of private data to Elon Musk is pissing consumers off, blue and red states alike. As Heather Long, notable economist, writes, wow, a notable drop in consumer sentiment in February. American consumers do not like tariffs. About 1/3 of consumers spontaneously mention tariffs, up from 27% last month and less than 2% prior to the election. This is only the 5th time in 14 years we've seen data like this. This from the University of Michigan Consumer Survey. Year-ahead inflation expectations jumped up from 3.3% last month to 4.3% this month, the highest reading since November 2023. and marking 2 consecutive months of unusually large increases. This is only the 5th time in 14 years we've seen such a large 1-month rise, 1 percentage point or more in year-ahead inflation expectations. And if they're trying to get Fox and right-wing propaganda to push this, even Fox is looking at some of these prices and saying, whoa, 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 egg prices are way up. The eggs I see in my shelf are way more expensive. This is an issue. When are they going to lower prices? Here, play this clip.
A lot of people in the country are talking about eggs.
Yeah.
And the lack thereof right now.
Right.
I have a sister who lives in Austin, Texas. They said they can't find eggs anywhere, Costco and beyond. Although I went and looked for, you can go about 30 minutes and you can find eggs on the shelf.
Yeah.
But egg prices are, there's no doubt, they are way up. I know anybody who does the grocery store, grocery shopping that's listening to this is going, they're crazy.
I know.
In fact, I mean, the prices that we have here, that's an average. I feel like most people are going, the eggs I see on my shelf are way more expensive.
And I enjoy my eggs too. So this is certainly
the Trump slowdown. The numbers that we're seeing today suggest that the labor market may be losing momentum heading into the second administration of President Trump, according to economists, whose policy agenda could affect both employment and the availability of workers. As Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett writes, so it turns out when you don't go woke, you go broke. Trump's new DEI, dying economy and inflation, or as I like to say about the Trump employees or the Trump cabinet picks, didn't earn it. Congressmember Jasmine Crockett says it's only 2 weeks in and Trump is making America broke again. And she cites the Forbes article that talks about how January jobs report reveals weaker growth than predicted, weakest start to year since 2016. So what does Donald Trump do? Donald Trump's got to distract. He posts, U.S. aid is driving the radical left crazy. There's nothing they can do about it. Oh my God, you're making us crazy, Donald. Maybe you should just lower the freaking prices. Maybe you should have done what you said you were going to do and bring peace to Ukraine in 24 hours. Maybe you shouldn't be letting billionaires just run up into we the people, our government agencies, and just taking our crap and taking our data. Maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be trying to fire all of these FBI agents, screwing over labor and unions, gutting the National Labor Relations Board. Maybe you should be not overseeing the fact that there have been like multiple transportation disasters in 3 weeks. I don't, maybe these things could be something that you can actually focus on versus writing tweets or social media posts in all caps. And as I always tell people who watch this, people who watch the MeidasTouch Network know I always say this, like if you had somebody right now who sent you a text message that just visually looked like this, you would tell your friend or family member or coworker, whoever wrote this, like you'd be like, dude, are you okay? Like you seem like, do you need to be involuntarily placed in a psychiatric hold? Like who writes like this? The leader of the Republican Party, the president of the United States, who the spineless Republicans are allowing to be in there. But, you know, these are people. I mean, take a look at this. MAGA Republican Ryan Zink. He goes on Fox with like his shaving cream on his face. Here, play this clip.
So those are the lines. I'm pretty confident that we'll get something done. But again, it's about making sure that we maintain our profile of reducing our debt, but yet make sure we fulfill our campaign promises of the taxes where primarily the expense is.
Where are we?
You've got MAGA Republican Congressmember Mike Flood right here, who talks about how the GOP budget is going to inflict pain on the American people. They're going to bring pain and suffering, and the American people aren't going to like it. But it's how you have to pledge your loyalty to Trump and Musk by suffering, and then they'll fix it later, but you need to suffer now. This is the message from the Republicans. Don't believe me? Let's play his clip right here.
See a menu of options that'll come out in March, and it will be littered with a collection of ideas, some of which Americans are going to really not be for. But hey, if we don't sacrifice, if we don't understand that this is going to be a painful process, nothing's going to change.
Well, all of this is going on. The Time magazine cover, you see it right here, has Elon Musk right there as the actual real president. One of the things I should mention as well, Elon Musk is making posts like this morning, I guess shaming people for body weight. You know, he's showing a woman who goes into, who he's saying you need to work out. You make sense of this and saying what, that federal workers are overweight and lazy. This is what Donald Trump's message is to people right here. And this is what the United States government's doing. I mean, this is horrific stuff. And then he's also posting memes of, one of the people who Elon Musk put into the Treasury Department, who has since resigned or been pushed out or fired, whatever it is. I think just resigned because Susan Wiles, Donald Trump's chief of staff, wanted him gone, was this guy who talked about a bunch of racist things, eugenics. He would never marry outside his race, all these racist posts. This was the guy who had all of your data in the Treasury Department. And so Elon Musk wants this guy to go back in. And I think the guy's alt like username, like his the username he was using secretly was something about like big balls or something. And so Elon Musk is now making posts of South Park guy with big balls, and that's what the United States government is doing, is making posts about big balls with like cartoons of that. It's where we are right now in the United States of America. The international community is both kind of horrified, mocking the United States, laughing in our faces, seeing how weak and pathetic Donald Trump is. This is what Donald Trump is doing this morning. It's odd, it's strange, but you know. I guess the question that I'm wondering though is when Donald Trump starts reporting the fake labor numbers, because you know that's where it's going to start heading. He's going to be pissed at what these numbers are, and then he's going to start just putting out his own reports that are just going to be completely and utterly fake. That's my gut of where he goes next with this. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 750,000 followers.